Hi, hello, welcome to Monday. Welcome to a new video of rewriting Messiah. I don't know. Oh, you guys, it took me all of last week to write a scene, which is fine, and I was writing every day, which is wild considering my exhaustion levels and whatnot. But I wasn't feeling the fulfillment of writing most of those days. Some days for sure, I was getting a lot of joy out of it, and some days I don't even really remember the act of writing. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's a new week. We're working on a new chapter. Actually, today, the first thing I need to do is work on the scene that I finished last week. Just to read through it really quick so I can send it to my BFF. I've technically already sent it to my OG BFF because when I finished it, I was like, here you go. But I made a deadline for Monday with my other BFF, darling Hannah, the reason that I'm rewriting Messiah anyway. So yes, I hadn't sent it to her yet. So I want to read over it and then pass it along to her, and then yada yada. Yes. And then we're working on whatever the next chapter is in the story, I guess. I don't even know. I think I got confused in my timelines because I think in chapter 1 I said it was like a week until the announcement of who's going to be heir. And then I wrote a council scene and sent it to my OG. No, that was a different scene. Never mind. No, I did write the council scene. I didn't send it to anybody. What did I send? Oh, the conversation. I wrote a new scene that wasn't in the original. That was a couple of conversations and emotional context and sent it to my BFFs. And then my OG BFF pointed out that she would have wanted more action as chapter 2. Because in chapter 1, the girls are like having a conversation about the council meeting that discussed the dragon showing up, and Messiah may or may not be the heir in a week's time, I guess. Anyway, all these things. They're having a conversation, and then in chapter 2, there's another couple of conversations with characters, and they're more emotional, but like it's just, yeah. Anyway, she mentioned more happening, more actiony things happening. So then I wrote a completely different scene that wasn't in the other book. And I really love it, but it took me all week to write it, you guys. Anyway, where it's a scene that I sort of wanted to include way back in the day. Not this specific scene, but just the idea of Messiah actually witnessing the hatred of magic, that she doesn't suffer as the princess and like she's protected because of power and prestige and whatnot, but other magical people have to deal with. And so yeah, I wanted to include it in the original story, but in writing Messiah's first draft back in 2020, I was still figuring out what the story was about. So in the beginning, it was like, she wants to be heir, her brother gets chosen, like that's the story. And then like halfway through the story, I was like, actually, maybe it's more about the hatred of magic. And like, she's not upset that she was passed over because she's the rightful heir to be queen. She's upset that she was passed over because her father choosing her brother, her twin brother, instead of her was not a choice between his son and his daughter, or his, oldest and youngest child, if you can call twins that. But it was actually a choice between his magical child and his non-magical child, which had a lot of weight, that decision, because of how brittle the pieces in his kingdom between the magical and non-magical people. And so everyone was watching this decision to be like, is he going to choose the magical kid who is older, or is he going to choose the non-magical kid and just declare for the whole kingdom that he doesn't trust magical people? What's he going to do? Anyway, so it wasn't until like halfway through the story that I really started to dive into that. And so I knew in rewrites I would come back and like add more of the magical tension. But I hadn't, because obviously I never came back to rewrite it. So yes, that's what I did this last week, is added a scene where a little magical girl gets attacked and Messiah sees it. And then her response to it and Art's response to it and the differences there and things. Anyway, So, yes, that's what I wrote, and then I moved on, because I already had the conversation scene that I'd sent as chapter 2, but now it became chapter 3, and then I had the council thing that I haven't sent to anyone yet, as chapter 4. But anyway, the point is, timeline-wise, in the very first chapter, I said it was going to be a week until the council meeting, but not the council, like the who's there, decision-making. I guess I've forgotten that, because somewhere in the midst of making a bunch of different chapter 2s, I've made 3 different chapter 2s at this point. Everything just keeps getting shuffled down as I make a different chapter 2. It's been more than a week. And that decision hasn't happened yet. So I need to go through and, like, make those other chapter 2s, 2, 3, and 4 now, into, like, the day after each other kind of thing, instead of being, like, a few weeks later. Like, no, there's immediately the next day. Which doesn't change a lot. It, like, transitional sentence, I can get rid of the, like, it'd been a few weeks. And then also anything else that, like, it should be more urgent, like, it just happened, it's more pressing. But I don't think it'll be a lot of changes. Anyway, I need to fix the timeline thing. And then the next thing I'm gonna write, I think, is the decision and the announcement. But I want to fix up the council. So the original council meeting was the opening of chapter 1. It's how Messiah's book opened, was the council, and then Merlin bursts in and is like, dragon, whatever. So then I rewrote chapter 1, which y'all have seen if you've been watching these videos, and I made it just the girls talking about that council meeting. So I took that council meeting and, like, removed Merlin bursting in to say, there's a dragon, but kept the other aspects of it so that you were still being introduced to all of these players in the game that Messiah is about to be playing. Because she's all political scheming as soon as her dad chooses her brother. But anyway, so I kept a lot of chunks of that scene, and then I just made it more about the dragon. So, like, they've already heard about the dragon, so now there's a council scene. You meet the members of the council, and you meet the king, and you meet Lady Rafaela, who's, like, big in the story. Anyway, you meet all these characters in the council scene, and then Messiah's mostly only caring about the dragon. She wants to know about the dragon because she's curious about it. And Art wants to know about the dragon because he wants to kill it and get glory or whatever. But I think now that I went back, so I rewrote that, like, second, basically. After I rewrote the first chapter, I was like, ooh, the council scene, I could still use it, just differently. And then I made the conversation chapter 2, and then I made the magical incident chapter 2. So the council meeting just keeps shifting and shifting and shifting. And now it's chapter 4. So I think what I need to make the council meeting now, I need to go back and rework it again and make it less about the dragon, which she could still think about. But right now her focus is going to be entirely on her father's decision, which is now like 2 days away or something. Like, that's what needs to be on her mind. And that's what the council needs to be talking about. It's like, has he made a decision? And then we can hear from the members of the council their opinions and advice on it. Like, obviously they would have already had these conversations with the king, but the closer the decision draws and he hasn't made a decision or said what he's going to choose once he gets to the announcement, like, he doesn't tell anybody. And in the original version of the book, he didn't tell anyone until they were all gathered in the Great Hall with the nobles and commoners and whatnot, and then he made his announcement. I don't know if I'm going to do it that way the second time. I might. But in the original book, he doesn't tell anybody. And so leading up to that decision, everyone's going to be like, well, here's what you should do, my dude. Here's the way it should go. You know, they all have opinions. Anyway, so I think it would be interesting if I reworked the council scene. So you still get introduced to all the council members and all these different people that are important to the story. And you still kind of have interest in the dragon, which will be major later. But you're super focused on the decision the king is making, and you get to hear what these people think about it. That's my thought process. Today, however, before I get to any rewriting stuff whatsoever, I've been trying to... Little man is coming this way. I've been trying to film... Hey, Bubs!
We got it now.
You got a what?
I'm getting ready.
Oh, so tired?
Yeah.
Were you running outside?
Yeah.
Okay. You gonna lay on your bed for a second? Breathe.
I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna Yeah, I'm good.
Alright, I'm gonna film a little bit more, okay? Is that cool? Okay. So today...
Just fall off my bed.
Oh, I'm so
Then
sorry.
I got back up.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I was asked to film a little testimonial thing for Quill and Cup and be like, yay, I love my writing community. Anyway, it's terrible. I agreed to this because, like, I love my writing community, and I don't really have a valid reason, like, not to do it, you know? There wasn't a real reason to be like, no, I don't want to do that, other than just my, like, anxiety. So I was like, this is fine, I'll do it. So...
Another video for you.
Okay. The social media hedgie...
And then I will put...
The social media hedgie sent me, the reel that she created that she wants to do voiceover for. She sent me my testimonial from the website, because I was like, what am I even supposed to say? I don't know. She's like, you say what you said on the website. And I was like, what did I say on the website? Anyway, so she sent me all the things. And today I started trying to film it. But the very first time I just, like, read what was on my website testimonial, and it was 42 seconds long, and the reel is 16. So that didn't work. So then I was playing around with, like, this half of the testimonial, or that half, or, like, picking and choosing pieces of it to say. Hold on, let me check how many of these I have. Based off of the different ways I was trying to put it together so it sounded cohesive but was 16 seconds long. And also the times that I misspoke and had to restart. I need to look. It's on this camera, so I need to look. Hold on. 16 attempts, which maybe isn't that many, but it felt like a lot for 16 seconds. And then it was like 20 minutes later. It's going well. It's going well. But anyway, she messaged me and was like, so, what did she say? Oh, I lost it. Hold on. Hold on, it's no longer in my notifications. I have to actually look it up. Oh, any luck with the audio recording, question mark? It's just perfectly timed as I sit here just, like, manically trying to film myself. Anyway, yeah. That's actually why I turned on the camera, was to give you an update on that. But then I had to address everything else first. Alright, let's do this. That was a very confident let's do this. It's Saturday, and I did not film anything else after let's do this. So editing Mandi is here. I'd forgotten I didn't have any other updates, honestly. I was like, let me film this, let me edit this together and see how much there is and if I need to do an outro. Who even knows? So, I have my bullet journal where I do my little, like, Eisenhower matrix thingies. So what did we do on Monday? Editing Mandi, you're good. Just to say, I'm so sorry about the noises on the microphone. I accidentally discovered that my headphones have a microphone that makes the sound clearer than my webcam. Last week, maybe? Last week's outro, possibly? Oh, that I must have filmed on Monday. Yeah, because I was putting the video together. On Monday, I discovered this situation. But because I didn't know it was there previously and I've never used it before, like, I don't know what I'm doing or what you can hear when it touches things. So I'm sorry. I used to think it was very strange watching YouTube videos and to see people holding their headphone string and talking into it, but I'm starting to understand. Because then it's not bouncing across their shirt and their hair and you're hearing all of the scratching noises, which you're about to hear if you watch the rest of this, because, yeah, that's what happened. And it's noisy, and I'm sorry. We worked out, and we sent Hannah the scene, and I sent the audio, 16 seconds of it. And then I did edit the previous week's vlog. I've gotten so far behind on vlogs, you guys. I don't even know what's happening. Anyway, yes, basically on Monday I was editing. Anyway, we don't have to talk about it. So yes, I edited and uploaded last week's vlog. And that is it. That's everything that I did. So a lot of not marked off things on Monday's list, but I actually did things on Monday. 5 whole things. And then we have Fridays below it where I have 2 things marked off. Number 1 was posting last week's blog, because on Monday I edited it and uploaded it, and then, whoops, apparently ran out of juice, because I didn't schedule it to be posted. And then we went through the whole week with me not having enough energy pennies to schedule a post. Anyway, so on Friday, I scheduled the post, and then I spent my entire morning, well, not the whole morning, half of my morning, putting together the Preptober social media prompt post idea thing for the nano hedgies that I coached through NaNoWriMo in my writing community. That took extra pennies. That took pennies I didn't even own. That was a whole experience. And when I got to the end of it, I was like, I do not have the energy to make the graphic now, because I just came up with the 31 posts for October, but actually it was 62, because I wanted to do this, and so I wanted to do it in such a way that there would be prompts for plotters and also for pantsers, because it's Preptober, but not everyone does a lot of prep before they write a novel. And I wanted my nano hedges to all feel included. You know, it needed to be all inclusive. So I made like a 2-fold every day. There's multiple options based on your level of plotting before you start NaNoWriMo. And I really wanted to do this, so I did do it. But my desire was like all the way up here, and my energy pennies were all the way down there. And I don't know how I got it done, but I did. Very poorly. But anyway, it happened. But I did not have anything left over to make the actual graphic. So I posted it, and I was like, I'm passing the baton. Who wants to make a graphic? No one took me up on it. One of the hedgies did make it into a helpful little like checklist, which is actually something I would use to print it off and check it off manually, you know, because I am not a digital person. I like to be able to touch things and smell things, and this is why my story Bibles, I pick it up, but the cat is on it. This is why my story Bibles are like physical notebooks. Anyway, the point basically was that I did not have energy to make graphic. But then this morning, after a good night's sleep, and some cat cuddles, she's being adorable right now, and she's going to attack me in a second. But anyway, I made the graphic this morning. So, that's all I have to say about that. That's all that I did. I posted a video, and I did the thing, yeah. The other half of my morning was spent doing science projects with my littles, because they were all home from school again, which is great, but also the Fridays that they're all home from school, I get literally nothing done. Because obviously they need attention, and I have to be present, and I want to be present. Anyway, wow. Yep. That was my week.